Abdul El-Sayed is a progressive Democrat currently competing in a Democratic Party gubernatorial primary in the state of Michigan. And currently, he's received quite a bit of national coverage, and his campaign is quickly gaining momentum. So he had the endorsement of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She recently actually went to Michigan to stump for him, and he also just picked up the biggest endorsement yet. Bernie Sanders, who states, "I'm proud to endorse Abdul El-Sayed for governor of Michigan. As governor, Dr. El-Sayed will fight for a government in Lansing that represents all the people and not just wealthy special interests. Under Abdul El-Sayed's leadership, Michigan can help lead the nation in guaranteeing health care for all through a Medicare for all single-payer type system, tuition-free public colleges and universities, a minimum wage of $15 per hour, and strong environmental protections." Now, if you're wondering why progressives like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Bernie Sanders, and myself are so excited about Abdul's campaign, well, instead of telling you, I'll just show you.
I'm Dr. Abdul El-Sayed. We all know why our health care and our auto insurance are so expensive, why our air and our water poison our kids. Corporate greed. My pledge is always to put your needs over their profits. It's why we don't take a dime of corporate money. We stand for Michicare, state-level Medicare for all, to reverse the rates on auto insurance, and to de-DeVos our public schools. I'm asking for your vote on August 7th. Together, let's build a Michigan for people and by people.
So that 30-second ad tells you more about Abdul than most corporate Democrats who, you can hear them speak for minutes. They just drone on and they speak in nothing but platitudes. But here we have someone who's telling you everything you need to know about him in just 30 seconds. He supports Medicare for all at the state level. He's not taking corporate money. So, this is the real deal. He's someone who's truly progressive. So, naturally, since he's so progressive, well, the Democratic Party establishment wants absolutely nothing to do with him. Now, if you'll remember just a few months ago, we learned that the second highest ranking Democrat in the House, Steny Hoyer, actually tried to bully progressive Levi Tillemann out of a race in Colorado because they thought that his corporate Democratic opponent, Jason Crow, was more electable. Now, when Democrats talk about electability, really what they're talking about is your ability to win if you raise more money by taking taking contributions from large multinational corporations, from billionaires, from millionaires. That's what they care about. And more specifically, if you're taking corporate money, then you're going to raise more money, and odds are you're going to end up raising money for your colleagues in the House. So that's really all that they care about. Now, similar to the situation in Colorado where Steny Hoyer kind of gave Levi Tillemann a stern talking to, well, there were some powerful individuals within the Democratic Party establishment that talked to Abdul, and in an interview with Vice, Abdul states that they gave him a really interesting reason as to why he shouldn't run, or he presumably shouldn't run, even if they didn't explicitly say that. Here's what he said they told him.
You can imagine these folks in power being like, oh, no, this can't work. He's brown and Muslim. He can't win.
So you think it's really because they think you're unelectable?
I literally had, we'll just say very powerful people who call a lot of shots in the party, sit me down and say, we think you're great. You just, it's not that we're racist. It's just that we think people outside of Southeast Michigan are racist, and so you can't win. See? Makes sense. And they're like, no, not how it works. Thank you. And if you think I'm ever going to stop, you got the wrong guy.
Now, I'm glad that, that clearly didn't get Abdul down. I feel like if somebody told me that, I would be pretty discouraged, just because, if you're running in this party who claims to be egalitarian and progressive, you wouldn't expect them to say something like that to you. But the fact that they said it is still a really big deal. This is disgusting. Think about this. For a party that champions diversity and claims that their diversity is their biggest strength, well, they're not so subtly suggesting that maybe Abdul shouldn't be running here. Maybe he should drop out and let his corporate Democratic opponent win, because he can't win, because he's brown and he's Muslim. And again, it's not that we're racist. We'd vote for you, Abdul. But it's just that we think that voters are racist, so we can't run people who are Muslim, who are black, who are gay, because, voters might not go for that. First of all, voters opted for Barack Obama in 2008. He won Michigan, a state that Abdul is running in. But furthermore, if you are willing to cater to the tribalism of the voting electorate, then you're no better than them. Now, of course, I don't know how this conversation went, but essentially, from what I gathered, the overall implication there was they're trying to nudge him in that direction, drop a couple of hints. Hey, Abdul, look, you're not going to win. Take it from us. We know what we're talking about. You're not going to win because you're a Muslim. It's that simple. So, we have this great corporate Democrat. Her name is Gretchen. Maybe you should just drop out and endorse her, get all that progressive momentum behind you, behind her. That would really help us out. Thanks. Thanks a lot, Abdul. Can you please do that for us? But what's interesting is that Abdul, he hasn't made this race about his identity at all. He's stayed glued to the policies. He hasn't gone out there saying, I'm a Muslim, vote for me if you favor diversity. He's just talked about the issues affecting people in Michigan. But Democrats, even if they're not technically Islamophobic or racist themselves, this proves that they're willing to resort to racism to suppress progressives. They're willing to stoop lower than they've ever stooped before in order to suppress progressive momentum. So when it's politically expedient for them, they'll accuse progressives of being racist, sexist, Bernie bros, or they might just be racist or Islamophobic themselves, whatever will suit them better in the particular political race. It really all depends on the strategy that will be most effective at marginalizing progressive voices. That's what this is about. But the fact that they were willing to make that suggestion to Abdul, it's downright fucking disgusting. It really is. It's like me saying, hey, look, I'm not racist, but I don't want my neighbors to be black because there's a lot of people in the neighborhood who are racist and probably wouldn't be down for them, and I'm just looking out for them. That's essentially the argument that you're making. And they don't even care how it comes across. They don't even care if they are bending over backwards to appease racists. And really, I don't necessarily believe that they don't like Abdul because they're Islamophobic. I think that they don't like Abdul because he doesn't take corporate cash. And if he gets elected, then that's not going to be great for the Democratic Party's corporate donors, for their donors in the health insurance industry. So, look, if you were wondering how low the Democratic Party would go, they've gotten even lower. It's a new low for them, really. So if you don't support a candidate who is a woman of color, or a Muslim, you're a bigot. But if you do support a candidate who is a Muslim or a woman or gay, well, then you're making it more likely that a Republican will win because, Americans are just too racist to accept this level of diversity, even if Obama was a 2-term president. This is something that usually I would be angered by something like this, but it was just really disheartening because I'm not surprised with the dirty tactics that the Democratic Party establishment will use against progressives, but this is really just, to resort to Islamophobia to try to stifle Abdul's campaign. It's fucking disgusting, and whoever talked to him should be ashamed of themselves.
Support this podcast by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Humanist Report.